a lot of congratulations. So thankful for all those people that reached out.
You said right after you made the call right, you hadn't watched the preseason.
Yeah, I still haven't. Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm going to Hawaii next week, so I ain't watching it there either. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Yeah. Well, that's who we are. That's what we do, and I think, if you go into a game like that and want to start obviously trying to change your identity and how you operate, that's a risky proposition. So obviously we're going to build game plans around how teams operate and what we feel like is best to give in a certain situation. But we've decided that's who we wanted to be. That's what our guys have shown us that they're good at, and so we listened to them, and that's how we built our defense. And we got the players that can pull it off. Oh, good to see you, bud. Thanks.
We're going to get right back into head coach Mike Macdonald's press conference in just one moment, but I want to let you know why you should subscribe to the channel. We are going to have you covered throughout the week of the NFL Combine on any news or rumors that you are going to want to hear. We're going to have you covered here on Seahawks Today on any news, rumors, updates, anything happening around the NFL Draft, free agency, which is right around the corner, anything that concerns the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, we are interactive. We always ask for your opinions in our videos. You can respond in the comment section so we can make and craft videos around the things that you want to see. That's why you should subscribe to Seahawks Today, because we are a community around the Seattle Seahawks that's going to craft content that you do not want to miss. Now, let's get back to head coach Mike Macdonald.
Well, Jesse and I, we've stayed in contact throughout the years just because we're buds, and it's fun to bounce football ideas off each other every once in a while. He's given me more tips than I'm probably giving him, so I appreciate that. But just going into the process, just shared him some things you just didn't necessarily expect that I learned going through things. You say, if I were to do it again, this is how I would have done. Just having a clear vision of what you're trying to create, and say, look, this is what I believe in, and let the teams kind of either buy it or sell it, and go from there, and trust that, like, if it works and it's the right marriage of people, then you're going to be in a great spot. And obviously he's in a great spot. You see a lot of alignment, and I expect Jesse to do great things. I expect them to be right there, and they're going to be a team that we're going to have to contend with. So we're definitely going to be paying attention.
I watched the interview with you where you said you just tried to spend a little more time at home.
Yeah.
I was curious, did you recognize a personal performance benefit from that?
Well, the thought, really, like, we're trying to find more ways throughout the week for me to, like, separate from football. And I just felt like as a leader, that's what I need to do to be a better version of myself when we were with the people in the building. And that was one of the things that we decided to do. And it worked out great. It was more time at home and more refreshed, better version of myself in the office that hopefully people are more excited to be around me than maybe the year before.
Mike, as you guys make the change from back, it's a great OC, Ryan Clary. What should fans expect from this offense?
Well, we're going to be the Seattle Seahawks, and we're going to have a different evolution of our offense, and it's going to be built on the same principles, but how it comes to life and the exact plays that we're going to run, I can't answer that yet. I don't know the answer to that, but I know how Brian's going to operate, I know how our offensive staff's going to operate, and I'm really excited to see how they make this thing come to life. And so it's going to be a fun process to be a part of, and sharpen each other as we start to get some of these competitive periods. And again, like, we're going back through the process, so we're back at kind of stage one now, and we have to be disciplined enough to stick to our steps and our process, and trust that the results are going to be aligned with how we visualize our team being.
Coach, how do you transition from we just want to Super Bowl to okay, we have to start transition? How does the transition
Trust me, it's easier than you think. You got to hire a staff, and time waits on nobody, and we had to go. So, hey, you're flying to the combine on Monday, and these are it's just that these daily things you got to hit, and those are the things you're focused on. Just to be completely honest. Well, we kind of run a 3-4, kind of evolved to more of like a 4-down team with some 5-down principles. But I've said this before: you can't copy. There's no don't copy. Just have a vision of what you're trying to create, the systems that you believe in. What are the principles that you want to hang your hat on as a football team and in each phase of the ball, and then go attack it. There's so many different ways to play. Schematically, to play great defense, what you can't sacrifice is how you play. So Robbie Leonard is a friend of mine, and he's going to do a phenomenal job. He's a great football coach, and I know his vision will come to life for sure. I'm sorry. Oh man, I think the first thing with John is the type of just the person that he is. One thing I've learned is you can't hide who you are, So for him to be able to do it at this level for this long, if that's not the staple of what a real deal, authentic leader is about, then I don't know what it is. But man of faith, man of integrity, ultra competitive. I think one thing that John and Jim does, that's resonated with me is the support they have for their players, of always having their backs. Always putting the team first, and the players realize that. They know when you're for them or not, and John's been for his players his whole career, and he's a great example for really, really coaching across the world. Why do we play nickel? Because we can, It's just, there's tactical reasons on why we want to do it. Some people it's what's best for us to kind of try to dictate as many terms to the offense as possible. Teams are trying to manipulate you, and it's like, look, we'll just give you the one input, and we'll go play our best football, and keep it about us rather than always having to respond to the inputs that the offense puts out there. Really hasn't. You know what's going on, but it's business as usual. That's the charge that Jody's gave us too. So it's pretty simple. Oh yeah. I think the most important thing is just having a plan for what you want to achieve in the off season. So people's timetables are a little different. Some people, will prefer to take a little bit less of a break and get their bodies back going. Some people need to get away. It's just what's best for them. The most important part is their kind of mental stage and where their bodies are at as we start our off-season program. So, but it's definitely important to get away and get refreshed. Well, I think it's just as simple as just having, an extra 5 weeks, just an extra 5 weeks of adjusting what your calendar is going to look like to get ready to go play. Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat that? Oh, I don't know. I just tell us the rules and we'll go try to play by them better than anybody else. So it's just, how do you want to do it? Okay, that's fine.
There's a lot of focus on measurements here at the combine. You guys built a locker room that's really tight connected. How important is it to have the time with the people in person to get to know them?
Well, that's why I'd like our coaches to be at these. Just it's an extra data point that we can help contribute to the whole kind of equation, so to speak, and it's just an opportunity for us to get to know these guys. This is we're entering the timeline, the evaluation timeline, basically at the 11th hour. But our coaches' opinions. I know John really wants to know them, and I do too. And it's just going to help us, create a better picture of who we want to add to our team. I mean, it's not like we didn't sit down and say, okay, we need like a 6'4", 200 and X amount of pound guy. It's like a freak show of a person and an athlete and human, like, to make this defense go. It's like, no, we had this opportunity to add a great player like Kyle and said, okay, well, if we were to, how would we make it come to life? And frankly, we kind of screwed it up initially with him, like had him at safety, and we found a great spot for him at nickel, and then he's become a phenomenal deep area safety. And so that's the approach. Same thing with Nick. It's to say we got this great player that we have a vision for in our defense, and then hey, what are the things? How can we now train him to really help our defense the best? And do the things schematically that we feel like we need to be able to do to have success against the offenses we're playing. So I think that's always going to be the mentality, because the defenses we were playing when we were in Baltimore were significantly different than the ones we play all the time now, being the NFC West. And so that requires different things schematically, and so you're just always going to have to evolve. So for me to sit here and be like, hey, we have to play big nickel from here until 2050 or whatever, it's like that would be irresponsible. Yeah. Well, it's incredibly important for multiple reasons. One, I mean, just look at the productivity we had of those top two guys, solidifying our offensive line with Gray, and really the leadership position that he's taken within our team was really integral towards our success on offense. And everyone talks about Nick, but that's kind of self-evident and how that came to life. But the whole rookie class as a whole, I think the way they handled their business in terms of being ready to go, understanding their stuff, putting in the extra time, showing that the vets, that they are invested in our team and it matters to them, and they have respect for the guys that kind of laid the groundwork for them before them, let that connection happen quicker. And to the vets' credit, they're creating an environment where they let the guys kind of come in and be themselves and welcome them and show them the ropes. And if you don't have that, it's hard to build the team that we built. So that's something we're going to have to do moving forward. And obviously we had a lot more picks last year going into the draft than we do this year. That will probably change, but those guys are going to be foundational pieces for our team moving forward. Yeah, you too. Well, that was something that I felt from our first conversation, and it was just, I think it's one of those things where you can't fake. It's just one of the things you feel, and people that are mentors of mine that have a relationship with John, which is a lot of people in our league, just all kind of said the same thing. And so it became very clear very early that he was someone that I really trusted and that we could have great alignment with and it'd be fun to work with. So it's been that way since day one. Jody's been right there. Chuck Arnold, our president. I mean, just I think everybody having the same vision of what we want to create, and then just going to work from there and just trying to do what's best for the organization all the time. So it's a great group to work with. Yeah. Well, right now right now is get away and go get your body right, get your mental right, spend time with your friends and family, and then have a great plan for coming back for the off season. But I don't know exactly what we're going to say, but like the principles of how we're going to operate is we want to nail the daily goals and the daily standard about what we're trying to achieve and to become a championship team again. And it's really going to be that simple, So how we build the off-season program, what we do on a daily basis, that's going to look a little bit different for a variety of reasons. But how we do our business, how we interact with each other, how we attack schematically, how we put things together, all those things that'll stay the same. I think just having confidence in what you believe in and understanding why you believe what you believe, and that'll give you confidence to forward that message throughout your organization. That's something that I could have done a better job of in my first year, and we took a big leap with that in our second year, and I think that paid dividends for us. Thomas and I have really our first year in the NFL was the same year back in 2014. It's just very clear to me this guy's a heck of a football coach, how he handles his business, how he thinks about the game. He was a guy that I always be knocking on his door about, how you attack certain protections and kind of give me some of the tricks of the trade. And so I've always had a respect for him with his football intelligence, but also how he led his position group, and then his work at Northern Illinois speaks for itself. I mean, some of the games they've won championships. The opportunity for us to add another head coach to our staff was, it's like, hey, come on, man, we love you, we need you. You're gonna, you got a great role for you. So I'm really excited what he brings to the table, and he's a great football coach, great person, good friend. Well, again, Daniel and I have had a relationship for a long time. Daniel's a chasing edges guy. He's always in stuff. I think he thinks four-dimensionally, about really the whole program, and he's really focused his talents on offense. So I'm excited what he's going to bring to the table for our offensive staff. Great person. I think he fits the identity of our team, and he's going to be a fun guy to have around in the building as well. And I think our players are going to love him.
Do you feel like you have a little bit of a head start in terms of having a standard that's not been established, a culture that's been established that maybe hadn't been before the season?
Well, I think we've laid a solid foundation, but I think something that we have to do a great job of is evolving, and not being complacent on what we've been able to build. And these things are so fragile. It's just you have to take care of it. You have to attack it every day. The culture is it's got to come to life every day in how you do things. And so we can't just be resting on our laurels and saying, we're sweet because we created a good culture in a year. We got to keep building this thing.
You mentioned the rookie class before. Solid ride to get the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's the next step for him?
Well, first of all, really excited for Riley for having that, just the journey that he went through, and have it kind of culminating with that play, really helping us get off the field in that series, which is a series that was integral to winning the game. I think he shows what he can be. I think he's going to be a versatile piece across our defensive line. Playing A, B, C gap, being able to rush the passer on third down. And it's exciting for him to have a healthy offseason to go attack this thing, and carve out a great role for himself. So, it's going to be fun. I mean, I know he's going to be mentally ready. I know he's going to be physically ready. It's just about putting in the work and creating that chemistry with the rest of the defensive line that the rest of the guys have been able to build, and we're going to recreate that. He said that. Okay. Okay.
I'm curious, how important is it to kind of establish your identity as a sense of being, knowing that chasing it, you could get behind it. If everybody's trying to copy, say, your style of defense.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous to start copying people. It's why are you doing what you're doing? What's your vision for your team, for your players? Which it sounds like that's how he's thinking, which sounds like that's a winning formula. But I don't know. Don't copy what we did. It's you got different players and different scheme, and do what you believe in. It's about how you play. It really is. It's just how can you get your guys to play great football, play together. Schematics are really overrated, frankly. I'm sorry, you said Dave said he gave up play calling, and so what was the question? Yeah. Well, I think our approach is how do we need to operate so we can play our best football and win the maximum amount of games. So I think we found on defense we have some great roles for everybody on our staff, and everybody contributes to our game plan. Ultimately, right now I'm the guy that says the final words on what we do, but I mean, up until I'm saying those things, there's a lot of collaboration going where people have really, bought in and create some great value for us on, how we're going to handle the game plan and schematically. So at some point, maybe that decision criteria changes, and we say maybe we need to have somebody else call the game to put us in a better position. Not going to roll that out, but right now, I think we're in a pretty cool cadence and organization with our staff, and then having the carryover from our staff as well is going to be a lot of fun going into year 3.
Coach, what's the approach to the running back position this offseason?
Do what's best for the team.
Coach, when you finally got to your phone, how many text messages?
I'm not as popular as you might think. It's actually this funny story. So after Seattle hired me, I called Zach, and for some reason maybe I was back in Baltimore and I saw him, and I was like, "Hey, how many text messages you get?" He had like 7 times the amount of text messages that I had. He was, after he became coordinator, I became humbled pretty quickly. So, but thanks for those who did reach out. A few of you. We haven't worked through what that's going to look like in the game right now. Daniel is obviously an integral part of how they operate in Baltimore. I love how we do it here with Brian. He's been a tremendous asset for us and has put us in position to win numerous games that probably we shouldn't have. So that's going to remain the same between Brian, Leslie, and I. But I'm sure Daniel, will have some way to interact with us on ideas that he has, and we'll work through that as we go. But really, I see the majority of his role right now working through the offensive staff and seeing how we want the pass game to come to life.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. All right. Thank you.